Hello everyone, my name is Onepeg MG, and this is the news. Today in the news, pre-wipe event. All was quiet in Tarkov until yesterday when Battlestate Games released information regarding its pre-wipe event. And found on Twitter, BSG reported a roadmap. Yesterday, it said that the Raiders had now replaced the Scavs, so we can expect a whole lot more interesting PvP and PvE experiences now that everyone's getting ridiculous amounts of gear. In addition to that, they also released a roadmap. 1, Raiders, now. 2, adding economy event, Fence will have some basic items, other traders will be wiped. This is very, very similar to what we saw last year, or last wipe, where in 11.7, just prior, we saw that all the traders were wiped out of their gear and only Fence had very, very basic necessities for those of us that were broke. And in addition, they also added items 3 and 4. The much contested secure container event. You will not be able to put anything in during a raid. And 4, Raiders will remain on. Anything else of the above, meaning items 2 and 3, will be off. Plus, every loyalty level for the traders unlocked. Items are unlimited and cheap. And in this case, if history repeats itself like it normally does with BSG, that means that all of the items once initiated will be 99% off and everything will be ridiculously inexpensive and just crazy. Lots of people running around with eye cases just full of grenades, random stuff. But getting back to these 4 items, I want to just take a minute to highlight number 3. Because this has been a ridiculously contested issue. Number 3 specifically being adding this secure container event. Now, if you guys think back, there was a podcast that got done by Pestily with the assistance of Veritas and some other members of the team that talked about this exact thing. Really, the podcast at the beginning had been a discussion of what they had been doing as streamers, but then Nikita showed up. And in the course of this conversation, what Nikita had to say was that they were going to be testing this idea of only being able to put items inside of secure containers, meaning alphas, betas, gammas, epsilons, and the kappa. I will be interested very, very much to see what actually happens here, but I have a couple of theories. Prior to becoming a full-time content creator, I worked as a financial planner. I have about 10 years of experience, so naturally I am drawn to market-based systems, especially when it comes to small, little running economies like what Tarkov has. And I find the nuance of systems like this to be pretty interesting. Making this modification to the secure container at this point in time probably won't be all that impactful. And the reason for that is because most people already have all of the really rare stuff that they would want to get at this point. What would be interesting to see is what happens when they do a wipe and then keep the secure container built this way. And I think that will end up modifying the game pretty significantly. Really, you're only impacting people that are coming into the game late or that haven't played in a very long time and don't really have a stash of value to speak of whatsoever. Psychologically speaking, I think that we're going to have a lot more slow play and a lot more bushwhacking, possibly a whole lot more extract camping. But that remains to be seen. I think from the economic standpoint, just speaking in terms of just regular old market systems, when you make things harder to cultivate, you inherently decrease the supply, which inherently increases the cost. Now, what this will do from a macro level will decrease the amount of money that's in circulation. If people aren't able to get items out as often as they had been historically, there won't be the speed of selling items off to these traders that have just unlimited amounts of cash. So the amount of money in circulation will be less. But the overall value of those items will be higher. Things like LEDXs that get loot run for, especially key cards like the red key card, purple key card, and green key card, will end up significantly more costly in its value. Don't necessarily worry about guys that have thousands of hours worth of playing experience. Everybody that's got that level of time in the game really knows what they're doing already and probably doesn't care. What I worry about are the guys that have, say 500 and less hours of experience. The newer guys, the people that are trying to learn the ropes. And while all of us tryhards would love to just be able to say, like, filthy casual, deal with it, it's a lot more nuanced than that, I think. Successful games need influxes of fresh blood and fresh money in order to be able to remain successful. And one of the ways that you do that is help people feel like they're excelling at some level when it comes to playing any video game. There needs to be some sense of achievement. And I don't think the soft skills in this game necessarily do it well enough. The way to offset this would be to generate a really good, robust crafting system that has the ability of being pretty profitable in addition to things like scav runs. So it remains to be seen what will happen in point 12, whether or not they relieve us of this secure container event after the event is over, or if they end up pushing the secure container thing onto us after the new patch comes live. I, for one, am just kind of like a kid in a candy store watching this whole economic stuff unfold. I'm a total nerd about it, but, whatever. You got to be a nerd for something, right? But anyway, guys, thank you, as always, for taking the time to check out my shitty videos, and I'll see you on stream, okay? Thanks.